Something's brewing in Edmonton. There was massive news. McLeod Bethel-Thompson, the former Argo, two-time Grey Cup champion, is coming back to the CFL and signing not just any deal, a pretty lucrative one with the Edmonton Elks. It's incentive-based, and according to Farhanology, could grow up to $500,000, which means he's probably going to be the starter.
Starter money.
You know what? Edmonton Elks, they had a rough season last year. They want to make some moves. That's fine. It just gets very, very interesting when you consider they have one quarterback by the name of Tre Ford, who was probably their brightest spot on offense last year. So what do you make of this move, Luca?
I don't like it at all. If it is to be the starter, it's a horrible move, and the money suggests that it's to be a starter, even if it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we want to bring him in because the style that Tre Ford plays might lead to more injuries. He runs a lot, extends plays, susceptible to more hits that way. I get it. And McLeod is a great guy to learn under. Look at Chad Kelly and how he flourished just learning under McLeod Bethel-Thompson in Toronto. At the same time, if it's to be a starter, like, this just stunts the growth of Tre Ford and further just baffles me as to why they just keep doing this to Tre Ford. Like, he came in way later in the season than he should have, because he should have been playing a lot earlier, played outstanding given what was around him, and now this is what you go out and do. It seems disrespectful. It seems like a move that just has no direction, and I don't understand where it's coming from for that much money.
I'm with you on that one. I can't understand the school of thought, and maybe this move next year you win 10 games, and with Tre Ford you only would have won 8. But Tre Ford is 25 years old. He's homegrown. You invested a very, very high draft pick into him. The one thing he needs to do is play. And he didn't get to do that early on last year. And it felt like when they put him in, it was only because they tried 3 other options at this point and they were desperate. He finally came in, and guess what they started to do? Win games. And in the games that they didn't win, they were competitive. And they weren't this laughing stock anymore. And I was honestly very, very excited to watch the Edmonton Elks this year. I actually called them my one dark horse to maybe potentially make a playoff run in the last time we talked about the CFL. I think it was after the Grey Cup. And now I'm kind of like, where do they go from here? Are they going to trade Tre Ford? Are they going to just let him sit on the bench? Because at this point, it's like, how is that helping them in the future going forward? You're getting maybe 1 or 2 years from McLeod Bethel-Thompson, who can be a very, very good CFL quarterback. Like, let's get this straight. This is not a slight at McLeod Bethel-Thompson at all. He's a very, very good player. But we're just more concerned about the future of the Edmonton Elks. And they had one guy who looked like he could be a star franchise player, and they're looking to now shift and go in a different direction. It just doesn't quite make sense.
It's strange. And when you talk about trades, there are not many spots as far as
Ottawa is the one I can
Ottawa's the
think
one.
of, yeah.
Maybe Calgary too. Their QB situation with Jake Mayer, a little dicey, and that could be, I mean, more fuel to that rivalry, the Battle of Alberta, which would be a lot of fun. But I mean, it makes a trade a little more difficult too. I just think if you are Ottawa though and Calgary and seeing this, you better make a call, because your QB rooms have been a disaster since certain guys left, and now this is a guy that can not only bring stability but bring a ton of excitement and future projection to it. I'm all in on maybe a trade, but I'm with you as well. It just does not make any sense to me, and it'll be interesting to see what the Elks do the rest of free agency when that starts, because maybe it gives some more insight into what they're thinking.